legal landscape with regulated brothels. So this adds kind of a little bit more complexity to how sex work is perceived and can inadvertently normalize exploitation. And then you can combine that with Reno's status as a tourist destination, and there's an increased vulnerability to trafficking. Survivors often face stigma and the risk of re-victimization when trying to reintegrate into society. So as you can see, there's some statistics this is from Awaken. They are a local nonprofit that helps women and teens get out of the human sex trafficking situations that they are in. So this is in Reno, Nevada. However, there's no resources for more of the rural areas such as Carson City, where I work at. So as you can see, nearly 4 out of every 5 people trapped in these situations are girls or women. Nevada ranks number 1 in the nation when adjusted for population rates for women and children in the sex trade. And at any given point in time, there are 300 children in northern Nevada that are sold to human sex trafficking. So that's why a support group tailored specifically for these women is so important. It can provide a safe space for healing, access to vital services, and a supportive community where survivors can find solidarity and empowerment. So these are some psychoeducational topics that will be used in the group. So it is a 6-week group program, and the first week would be introduction and group building. The second week is emotional regulation. Week 3 is relationship and boundaries. Week 4, self-awareness and self-acceptance. Week 5, self-expression and empowerment. And then week 6 is goal setting and closing out of the group. So this is an example of the session design that would be utilized in each session for 6 sessions. So the first is the introduction. So for the first group, it would be introduction to the group, introduction to each other, kind of some rapport building. Then it would be check-ins, so checking in on how their weeks have gone, anything they need to check in with the group, and that's kind of where that peer support comes from. Then it goes to exercise or intervention of the day, and then it would be closing. So one of the examples I will use is from week 6. So as you can see from the previous slide, would be goal setting. So for the introduction, the facilitator would discuss the concept of personal power and its role in trauma recovery. Then participants would move on to their check-ins, see how things are going. And then finally, the exercise or intervention. So for week 6, the exercise would be where participants engage in an activity where they draw themselves 5 years from now. And then where would they like to be at that time? Then this would open a discussion to how they can set their goals to achieve in the future. And then the closing would be the closeout of the group for that day. However, it could be just the closing of the topic of the day for the previous weeks. So the rationale for this group type. So I believe the support group part and the psychoeducational part is important. They both are important. So a support group for women victims of human trafficking is really important due to the complex trauma they've endured. They often have feelings of shame, guilt, isolation, as well as society's stigma and then barriers to access support services. A support group offers a safe and empathetic environment where survivors can share their experiences and have that validation of that shared experience and build supportive relationship with those peers. And then through the psychoeducational portion, they can begin to heal from their trauma, reclaim agency over their stories, and engage and gain empowerment and advocacy skills to navigate their path towards recovery. I found this image online that says the principles of trauma-informed care. So first and foremost, trauma-informed care for this group would be very important. As we can see, it says safety, transparency, peer support, collaboration, empowerment, and humility and responsiveness. So that safety and peer support are going to be vital to the group, as well as this psychoeducational part and the support group part, which the group design draws on research findings from studies such as the narrative exposure therapy and experimental treatment approaches that also incorporate aspects of music, dance, and art therapy. These evidence-based approaches provide survivors with structured frameworks for sharing their experiences and developing that self-compassion. So at the end of the group, so at the end of the 6 weeks, participants will complete a questionnaire. So I'm using a process evaluation for this, as we can gain a understanding of the participants' views on group therapy. It also provides valuable feedback that can inform program improvement, enhance participation, and contribute to effectiveness of the therapy in addressing the needs of survivors of human trafficking. And here are my references.